Lord come to His sort of, it's His presence of God. When the presence of God shows up, that's His confirmation that I like what's going on. That's the way, it really is. That's His confirmation saying, I like what's happening. I like what's happening. I'm glad I got it. When I did, I feel once again like a young preacher. I'm not going to mess with that. But, once you hit 60, you don't hear anymore, you're the youngest pastor we've ever had. I had that for a lot of years. But I noticed that as the 40s faded, so did that sound. Don't worry. There's my notes. I want to start off. I just see Bill Mitchell up there taking his glasses. You ever been with him long enough to see him do that? Oh, he probably don't have glasses now. Sorry. All that is corrected. In coming here, I wrote something too, not just for this. I actually wrote something for the family. The night, the day after, Karen and I, by the way, Karen is at home. Our other, Brian, BJ and Carly are getting ready to go to Hawaii with some family. And somebody's got to do it. So Mama was getting ready. She was coming, but that's where she... And I'm saying that to preface so I don't have to answer thousands of, where's Karen? So there you go. Coming here today, I was thinking of what has been hitting my mind for months now. And when I found out the other Sunday that Bill Mitchell had died, it threw me into I don't know how to explain it. I talked to Tony Riddle, we both, or at least we text, and it's sad that you call that talking nowadays, that we wrote each other letters through the day. And he said the very same thing. It sent me into this, certainly a sober and sobering moment. And I was already in a sobering moment because I had, over the last couple of months, I was hearing from the Lord this one word that was coming into my mind, and I even preached to it a little bit last week in church. And it's sad that I would say a little bit because you don't hear this much in our churches anymore. And it's foundational to who we are as a people of God. I kept hearing the word for months. Eternity, 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 eternity. Eternity. And I would think over about not only what I preach and teach mostly, and most have in the last while, but even what I see others preaching and teaching. And we don't mean to, I don't think. I just think we adjust to our culture. And we also want what God has done to become so practical to us that it helps me tomorrow. I used to always say, listen, if what I talk about don't help you on Monday, then I've just wasted my breath. Let me suck it back in just for a moment. What I talk about should help you for eternity. Amen. And I'm going to not lighten the moment. I promise to get lighter. I promise. But can I read something and let us realize that we wouldn't even talk about eternity if Bill hadn't have left here to go there? It wouldn't even be on our mind. We didn't come and do this when you guys went on you went on a vacation and you left for a week or so and we're going to miss him. Let's all get together and worship the Lord before he goes. But as soon as somebody that we love dearly is translated from this real world into the next one, there's something so sobering that we gather together because it's just what you do. And here's some words. Jesus said, "Watch therefore, for you know neither the day or the hour." I told you it would be a little heavier. And then he goes on and says, and his master said to him, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a little, I'll set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And Jesus wasn't done making his point. So he says, when the Son of Man comes in his glory, and I realize he's talking about the coming of the Lord, I understand that, but sometimes he comes to take us before he comes to take us. You understand that? I too hope to go in what is traditionally, theologically called the rapture. But if not, I will be caught up in another way. I will actually go before he comes. So he will come to get me before he comes to get me. All of us. So when the Son of Man comes in his glory and all of his angels with him, then he'll sit on his glorious throne, and before him will be gathered all the nations, all the people groups. And he'll separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he'll place the sheep on his right, the goats on his left, and the king will say to those on the right, come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you and the foundation of the world. For I was hungry. Here's Bill. And here's all the rest of the family. I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer, shake their head and think, when did I see you hungry? When did I feed you? Or thirsty and give you water? Or when did I see you a stranger and welcome you? Or naked and clothe you? When did we see you, of all people, sick and in prison, to visit you? And the king will answer, and sort of with probably a little, you can't put this in the text. I tell you, when you did to the least of these, you did it to me. And I think about it and I think, not that I would have even come close to thinking that, okay, let's do more good here, but so when we get there, we balance it out, he weighs it, and if we've given a lot of water, and a lot of bread, and a lot of food and everything, if we've done more of that, then we get in. That's not the way it works. But I want to tell you something. There's something about this fact that I've just come, I don't know if it's my age, I don't know if I'm going through a three-quarter life issue here, I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, I do know this. I do know that you and I, we will live here forever. There comes a time when we, and that's all at different places. Jesus in those same texts, he talked about some give 5 talents to, he gives some 2 talents to, some he gives 1 talent to. I'm not going to be responsible if I'm not a 5-talent guy for 5 talents. I'm going to be responsible as a 2 talent, probably even 1 talent. He probably gives out like 0.5s. I'm probably one of those. He gives those out, and I will be responsible for that when I finally get this. Stand before him, and I will, and you will. Now, I just want to say to you this before I tell you anything else. You know, the presence of God is so rich here today that you would do well. Well, Jerry said it's so good. You would do well, not just to do church. You would do well, not just to do how good you are. You would do well to cry out for Jesus and his mercy. Because that's what change you. And I'm beckon you into his presence forever. I don't know where Bill was on that scale, but I got this feeling, because it's hard to speak of Bill Mitchell without talking about the Mitchells. How many agree with that? Yeah, it's hard. The Mitchells. There is something about this legacy of joy that the Mitchells. I know Bill. I know we're here because of you, but. And it's divine. It's like supernatural, because after all, this joy thing, it's almost like a legacy, supernatural legacy of joy. And by the way, Jesus or Paul actually said that the kingdom of God is righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Spirit. It's not just like being giggly happy. It's like you either got it or you don't. But that's part of kingdom stuff that Bill carried. It's so amazing to see this family and see how Bill, how God used this family. When I think about you guys, this is an original thought. Can we come over here? I thought about it. You guys were like the city of refuge. And not everybody can be there. In the Old Testament, in case some of you don't know, let me keep you up. When they came into the promised land, God told the people of God, I want you to make 3 cities. Only 3. And I want them to be the city of refuge. And anybody going through, I know there were specifics, and for some of you Bible geeks, I get it, but I'm talking to the whole here. For any of you going through hard times, you run, make a beeline for the city of refuge, and stay there until we settle the issue. Then you come out. Not every city, not every city would be a city of refuge. Only 3 of them. Not every family was a city of refuge. Only one of them that I knew. And the odd thing about this is God's hand was so strong on this family and Bill, is that whenever we would go through difficult moments, we knew they could not solve it. Heck, we had bologna on Sunday afternoon. We like bologna because we grew up in the bologna era. Listen, we were so poor back in those days that one time I brought in some of that big, fat, thick kind of cut bologna, the kind you cut. Well, you'd have thought I brought in a ribeye steak to that bunch. It'd be anything I've ever seen. But we didn't have much money back in those days, so when we had a little extra money, we made special bologna sandwiches. I bought a pack of cheese and put on them, and that was especially good. And if we really had a good payday somewhere where we didn't even buy the Food Line brand of bread, we got burrito. And I am not lying. And I just want to take credit right now. Nobody will remember this but me. I was the first one that fried the bologna among ourselves. I got the frying pan. I remember looking at it, and I said, I like fried bologna. And it stuck. But the reason we went there, because there was such a presence of God on them, is that it wasn't about fixing nothing. It was a matter of while he was there was recovery and refuge. Bill used to love it when I would go into that piano and open up that bench and pull out those songs, and God knows, I don't know how they went. What were they? Charlotte's Web. So I pulled one out, and I don't read dots. As a matter of fact, I was watching you play the piano, and I thought, oh my God, he plays like me. And he does, for you who remember he plays. So I couldn't read the dots, so I looked at Charlotte's Web enough, and I thought, let me just make my own tune. And Bill would listen, and he would laugh, and he would laugh, and he'd laugh so hard he cried, and put his glasses back on. It was in that atmosphere that God raised up a family that would heal, that could heal. I look back there at Mike back there, and I remember you and Sherry. I don't remember the circumstance, but y'all actually were young back in those days. And I don't know if you were transitioning to a house or a home, but they needed a refuge for a season. And I remember coming over, and they were there. Like all of a sudden, they were there all the time. They were there. And I said, what are they there for? What are they doing? In a refuge. What are they doing? Well, they're living here. They had become a place of refuge. And it was just it's just what they did. They're in this house, God has got you, and he has put something in you. It will not be complete until it's redeemed by the love of Jesus. Otherwise, it's just a good thing that good people do. When Jesus redeems and touches us, it becomes a divine thing that actually changes and transforms people's life whenever they come under the canopy of it. And that's the power. And that's the difference in the presence of God. Makes all the difference in the world. When I was the other night processing this whole thing, I got it on I'm up very early every morning, and I was up at, this is part of my journal for that morning, 3:23 a.m. Monday, July 18th. And I wrote this, I don't know who, I guess I wrote it for you guys. I was writing it for me, but then when it was over with, I started talking to Bill, and so they want me to read this. I sent it to them, so I read this. Everybody had something to read, so now I got something too. I found out last night that Bill Mitchell died yesterday, Sunday, July 17th, around 12 noon. So many memories with this man and his family. Bill built many remembrances with many people. Our children grew up under Bill and Carolyn's influence, and I might add that influence was always good, very good. One thing for sure, Bill was a happy man with a happy family, a happy wife who truly loved him, happy children that carried the DNA of their parents in the best sort of way, and happy grandchildren. Now, I admit I've not gotten a chance to know the grandkids, but this shows the faith I have and the power of influence that Bill and Carolyn Mitchell have to transfer their legacy of joy to their family line. Their children, Brian and Leanna, inherited this joy, and I have confidence that Bill's children's children will have done the same. Indeed, Bill Mitchell, and Carolyn too for that matter, the greatest legacy was this: to transfer an atmosphere of joy to anyone who came within speaking distance of them. And this, I'm sure, is why so many people throughout the years would come to their home and just sit in their presence and watch a TV show, or, I'm going to add this, one of those shows where they sing the words. And no doubt, or the evening news, or just to be there. Because for some unknown reason, though I'm sure I really know, Bill Mitchell possessed, and his family still possesses, a gift to make you forget your own troubled world worries and sit barefoot at their table or on their sofa, soaking in their smiles and laughter. And before you left their home, you found yourself wearing the same smile they wore, not worried about tomorrow, just grateful that you've had that moment. No, actually, it was ours with them. And the difference is this: Bill's smile rarely faded, and ours usually diminished a little as we regressed back to our worrisome world of sadness, sameness. And that's when we would return again to the Mitchells, eating whatever they had to eat, sitting at the same table or sofa, drinking another shot of their atmosphere and having to carry with us another one of our humdrum days. If the world would or could be as happy as Bill and Carolyn, and I add Carolyn too, because it seems so odd just to say Bill's name without hers, it would be a different and obviously different place to live. We lost a friend today. But more than this, we lost a smile, we lost some laughter. One of the great lessons learned from Bill is what we think is so important in this life is not that important after all. What Bill and Carolyn had cannot be bought with money. This and his was true riches. Joy and happiness is one thing we can take with us, because in heaven there are no tears or frowns or sadness. So Big Bill Mitchell, which is what I always called him, Big Bill Mitchell had few adjustments to make when he entered heaven's gates. Bill was a dreamer, a big dreamer. I'm not sure if you ever realized all of his dreams while on earth, but who knows, his dreams, I'm sure like mine, adjusted through the years. He fine-tuned his dreams, and his fine-tuned dreams probably took him exactly where he wanted and needed to be as his earthly pilgrimage came to an end. Now, I won't speak to Bill. You got to realize I'm upstairs in a little room they call the Eagle's Nest in my house, and I'm all by myself. By now, it's probably 4:15. And I'm just saying to myself, now I want to talk to Bill, because I know he's listening to every word and sees me type everything I'm typing. Bill Mitchell, we all want you to know that you are the A.L. Williams, the Pride America king of many a sad soul. It was a mystery to us how you smiled and laughed through life. We know it wasn't always easy for you. But you know what? We actually envied you. We did. We truly envied how you did it. And now we know. You were simply a blessed man and shared your blessing freely. And now you get to keep the smile and laughter, and you got heaven to boot. Don't tell me you can't take it with you. You just did. Because your it wasn't stuff, but pure happiness. Bill, you've taught us a great lesson. That if we take life on earth too seriously, we'll find few reasons for true joy. You had joy here, gave it away even when you didn't mean to. And just look at you now. I know you're singing. If you could see me now. And if you're not, Brian is. Or both of you are. Or at the very least, you're both thinking the tune. You know that's the way it was. That's the way he is. Well, Bill, just believe I'll go. Make me a fried bologna sandwich with cheese and Duke's mayonnaise and a glass of 3 cups of sugar per gallon sweet tea. Yeah. It was part of the meal. And ponder all this for a while. The memories might make me feel like I'm back at your house. Help me smile again for just a little while at least. Happy to be emptied and spiritually prosperous with life, joy and satisfaction in God's favor and salvation, regardless of their outward conditions, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now, Bill, I know this is messing with you, but dry those eyes. Crying in aloud, or needed where you live now. Well, okay, cry on, have the tears, right? Meanwhile, Big Bill, check in on Jerry Peterson. We had an inside thing about the weather man. I'm sure he's bored since the weather is always the same there. After all, there are no thunder boomers up there. Poor Jerry. And one other thing, Bill, I'm just wondering, can't help but to wonder, do you have your own mansion? Or, is the Lord making you share one with Grandmama? And I'm wondering if you are sharing a mansion since she got there before you. Sorry, but I have to ask this, Bill. Are you the one in the back bedroom? You always found a smile and laugh at every situation. Just so you'll know, I'm smiling bigger right now than I have in a long, long time. No, actually, Bill, I'm laughing right now. You're there, and I'm here. And joy is still working its miracle. How about ordering me up some fried bologna and Duke's mayonnaise for the big supper? Have mine burnt. Remember how I liked it? Blackened just a bit on the side. We'll see you soon, Bill. And you know what? I want you to be there. But you're not going to be there because she could. And you're not going to be there because you're a member of some church. And you're not going to be there by weighing yourself against your neighbor and looking and saying, well, I'm better than George. Well, so are 25,000 million other people better than him. But you're not better than Jesus. And he's our standard. And all you have to do to be better and to have his joy is say, Lord, surrender it to you. I'm just an old rotten thing. I open my life to you. I want to know that kind of joy that I'm hearing of every day. In Jesus' name. Amen.